Right, so you've heard from Daniela about the European citizens panels, right? So in practice, this meant that there is a group of 200 people from all member states coming together for meetings, or they meet online, but they form one group. So I think this is a very nice mechanism for organizing public consultations on the European level. And what I'm going to talk to you today is how to use this form of deliberative democracy for decision making. And in order for a decision to be treated as binding, let's talk about what does actually binding means. A different design of a citizen assembly, from my perspective, would be needed for several reasons. All right, so here we go. So first of all, I would not imagine one group of people. I would rather say that there should be national level citizens assemblies in all member states with the size of at least 130, and I will explain where this number comes from. So definitely Germany should be larger. Poland should be larger. I didn't make the calculations, they are irrelevant for this presentation. The concept here is to create a citizens' assembly in the form of national level groups which are interconnected, which are exchanging information with each other. And there are several reasons for doing so. And every national level citizen assembly would follow the same setup. There would be the same rules, standards, which actually could be included in the smaller version with 200 people. No problem with this. No, actually there is a problem. And the problem is, first of all, excess of experts. Daniel, how many experts there were during one citizen assembly? During a meeting, like 5?
About
8, okay, 8, something like this. And how large is the European Union, right? How many perspectives can you include in a design when there is just one group speaking? How many stakeholders? I think 0. Like completely 0. How many non-governmental organizations per countries have you got? Hundreds or thousands, right? So how do you include all of those groups? Because, we have the principle, democracy is for everyone. So it means everyone is invited, even though sometimes the scale is so big that it's not possible to meet with everyone in the same room. Okay, this is totally, it's like, yes, that's how it works. The scale is so big. You need to find a method of breaking it down. So breaking it down for the European one would be to have those 27 national level assemblies. And definitely it should be also, the whole process should be also open for the public, for comments and so on. So this is like the set of rules. Yeah, I have to use my glasses after all. So yes, all right. So is there, yes. And you have an improved representativeness of the group, because 200 people making binding decisions on the European level, come on, it's like kind of too small, right? So 800, but it's together, but for one topic, it's just 200. So that's how yes. So they were breaking down, and actually, I would suggest that the 200 would be controversial for the national level even. So definitely I would suggest to go up. Okay, so I mentioned that the interconnected part. What does it mean? In every citizens' assembly on the national level, there would be people following at least one country. They would be randomly assigned. Let's say I was randomly selected to be assembly member in Poland, and I'm randomly assigned to Malta. All right, so I follow what's going on in Malta, and I also can view all other countries, but I don't have to. I can, but I don't have to. So in this way, every other member of the Citizens' Assembly is following at least one country, and this is where the number of 130 comes from. It means that, for example, because Malta is kind of small, right? But even in the smallest one, there would be at least 5 people following each country, all right? So this is the concept of an interconnected Citizens' Assembly. And because, yes, it's also about, from my perspective, one of the biggest challenges with the current model is that, all right, you have the random selection, you have the demographic criteria, all very nice, but still it is taking place somewhere over there. It may be Strasbourg, it may be Florence, but it's not our country. They are not really speaking, you know, during the plenary in our language. There is no media from our country like following every session. While it would take place in Warsaw, there would be National Assembly, let's say in this place, you would have media covering these things. And they will be speaking Polish. And definitely you need to translate everything because you want this interconnection part. But there are those like really good reasons from my perspective why it should be broken down to the national level. And it's about trust. Because you really see this group of people from our country. There is access from our stakeholders. I know maybe from some of you, you're thinking this like European way about Europe, but I think that for many people it's like thinking in terms of my country. And okay, there is Europe, but my country comes first. So, and what does it mean? How does it mean? Oh, in practice, what would those international collections work like? So I have mentioned one. This will be following one country, but there also should be a special session for people to get to know each other. So it's not just us from Poland, it's also people from Germany. Oh, hello Hans, I'm Marcin, yes, I know, and so on. So, and definitely you would like to have some international calls at the final stage just to compare what did the stakeholders say and to learn about those different perspectives. This is all included in the detailed design. We don't need to like cover everything here. This is just to show you how it could work like in practice. At least 5 meetings in person on this national level, plus those yellow boxes are the international calls. This would be like the minimum. So you would have 2 meetings for learning only and 3 meetings for deliberation only. And this design includes so-called review phase, which means there is a preliminary voting, then the preliminary results are published, comments are collected, and amendments can be made. And this is done to improve the quality of final outcome. All right, but nevertheless, since people are meeting in their own respective countries, they vote together as one group. There is a final set of recommendations that they go through, and they vote on the same list. It's obviously just translated. And then there is this outcome. And here we come to the key question: what does it mean, actually, that the recommendations are binding? So you have like 2 options. Let's say, what could be the recommendation? The subsidies for farmers should be switched to supporting organic farmers only. And this is something similar to what has been the outcome of citizens' panels. All right, you need to create a set of, perhaps a law, a directive. You need to change something in a legal sense. There is a need for a legal text. Who is going to do this? European Parliament. And here we have the little problem, which is, but they have a free mandate. They can vote whatever they wish. So it's, how do you go to the European Parliament and tell them, oh, this comes from the Citizen Assembly, and you have only one option, you can vote yes. No, it's not possible. So you can only vote yes. I don't think they will be happy with this. So I think that putting the recommendations to the European Parliament and expecting that there would be 100% support and no disagreement is kind of strange. So something more to consider. The other option is, all right, let's bypass the European Parliament. Let's put forward this recommendation to the European Commission. They would just create the law, and that's it. But how do you verify that it's actually the law which reflects precisely what the Assembly members had in mind? Is there any mechanism for checking it? So actually there is, but it's not non-existent, and the solution looks like this. The law could be created by the European Commission, but voting and final approval could be made by the Citizens' Assembly itself. So there is this option which could be considered, just to make sure that what the outcome of a Citizens' Assembly has been, that it was correctly translated into the legal language, whether directive or some other legal text. And Michele talked about the Permanent Citizens Assembly. And from my perspective, it could look like this. It's not just one body. I'm in favor of a Citizens Assembly which is initiated as needed. And the permanent part would be here, I use the clicker, would be the Citizens Senate, which is the body which would have the option of, let's say, choosing some of the topics, not all of them, but let's say 2, 3 per year or something like this. And they could be in charge of hiring who will actually run those citizen assemblies, because it's a big question. Who is a coordinator of a citizens assembly, and how this person, or actually a team, has been chosen, by who? So this could be the role of a citizen senate as well. All right, so, and this actually means that if you are thinking about creating a mechanism for binding citizen assemblies, you would need to create the whole environment for the deliberative democracy, which includes other support bodies. And actually, it's more than just citizens assembly there. I would call it the citizens chamber. It could be seen as a part of the European Parliament. Right now, it's just one body, but there could be this citizens body, which is initiated as needed with a set of permanent institutions to support it. Right? That's it. Thank you very much.